Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Kelly Hall Tarn, just outside the town of Coniston in the Lake District National Park. Now, I've said this many times on this channel. Today's not exactly an ideal day for landscape photography, but I'm firmly of the belief that if you ditch all of those preconceived ideas about what a fantastic landscape photograph should look like, then there's always images to be had, as long as you keep this free and open and so on and so forth. Now, I think the title for this video should be something like Compositional Torture, because light aside, the one thing that I'm really struggling to find is separation. And if I just put my specs back on, this tree here is clearly my main subject, and it's got there's a reflection of it in the lake. And trying to get some separation between the tree and the land beyond it is, well, it's next to impossible. In fact, the only view that I've found that actually does that is this one down here. In fact, there's quite a few views where the tree has separation from the land around it. The only problem is shooting directly into the light, which is less than ideal. I'm kind of thinking should have been here at dawn, but anyway, never mind. I wasn't here at dawn, so that's why. But I've also moved around the other side of the lake, as you saw from the B-roll, and over in that direction, so directly opposite where we're stood now, you can actually get the Alban of Coniston, which is right behind us. I'm just going to spin the camera right round and show you Alban of Coniston. So Alban of Coniston is this little peak here, this conical shape, and then you can probably see there's I don't know what the names of these fells or these crags are here, but because of the clouds in the sky creating shadows on the land, you've got all these interesting shapes moving over the land. And although I could find a view on the opposite side of the lake that contained the Alban of Coniston, what I wanted was some interesting light on the fell, rather than it just brightly lit. So just, you know, something to create a little bit of interest, rather than just this cone that's, well, it's a sort of a bright green colour, because all of the grasses and the ferns and so forth that are on the side of the hill, they haven't turned their golden autumn colour yet. It's just ever so slightly too early. So I'm kind of in two minds. Do I wait a little bit, wait for the sun to move a little bit further around this way, and you know, wait to see whether I actually get some interesting clouds, or maybe I get a cloud that drifts across the sun and just brings the harshness of the light down a little bit, or do I just go for broke now? I'm kind of in two minds, to be perfectly honest. One thing I do know, well, two things actually. One, I'm going to have to use a polarizer to control the glare that's coming off the water. In fact, there's a sheep there just having a drink, look. So I'm going to have to use a polarizer. Fortunately, I've actually got just a simple screw-in one. I don't have to get all the filter kit out, which is great. And also, I'm probably going to have to hand hold most of the images that I take. The simple reason for that is that I need to have the camera so low to the ground in order to get separation between the bottom of the tree and the land masses that are around it. And my tripod has a center column, so you know it'll only go so low, and it's not going to be low enough. One of the things on my shopping list is a tripod that will go more or less flat. So yeah, I think this is going to be a case of moving around the lake. I mean, it's not very big. You can see most of it in shot. Moving around the lake as the light changes, being aware of what's happening on Old Man of Coniston with regard to shadows and clouds and so on and so forth, and just trying to move as quickly as I can. And that will be the other advantage of being handheld, of course. Being handheld, I can react very, very quickly. I'm not sort of faffing with tripods. I'm not going to be faffing with filters, just a polarizer, which I can give a quick twist. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I've got at least an hour and a half before I need to shoot off and do something else. So I shall spend that hour and a half roaming around this lake, trying to find compositions, but also get that separation that I'm looking for. So let's explore. A couple of quick notes. Screen out on the camera so I can put it low down. Image stabilization is on, and I've got the sunshade out. I'm probably also going to have to put my hand over, but there we go. Let's just roam around the lake, see what I can find. Now that doesn't work because there's a hillside in the way. It's actually been very dry here recently, which is probably a good thing because the edge of the lake is actually very, very dry. And I was warned in the guidebook that, oh my God, the light is so harsh. Right, I'm going to finish this video off with one last thing. Well, might actually end up being two. So I completely forgot that I looked at the forecast before I came out here, and the forecast for this evening is for the skies to clear and for there to be a high degree of high cloud. So excuse me, the chances of, you know, some little fluffies covering the sun and creating some interesting light on Coniston Old Man, it's not going to happen unless I'm incredibly lucky or unlucky, depending on your point of view. So what I've actually decided to do is just have a play, and it's a great way to learn by having a play. I've actually got an infrared filter, an R72 I think it's called. Cuts out all visible light and only lets infrared light through. I've used it a few times on this camera, but this is only a 62mm diameter. My lens is 72. But what I've actually done is I've zoomed into 50mm, and I've worked out that I can just about hold it in place for the exposure. And I mean, it's a bit Heath Robinson, to be completely honest with you, so I'm having to hold that in place. Manual focus, clearly I'm on a tripod, 2-second timer, and then I'm having to put my hand over the front of the lens to shield it from the sun. I'm waiting for a nice little cloud to pop across, which would be quite nice, because behind the tree at the moment it's just plain blue, but there is some cloud formations beyond it, so I'm just going to wait for them to drift to my left hand side. Hand holding the R72, I have to put my hand over the lens like so. So just make sure stabilization switched off. Yes it is. Right, okay, go. And what I've done is I've put the camera in monochrome mode, which will give me a monochrome JPEG, but the RAW will be have all the red tones in it. And I'll then need to convert it to black and white in software. And I'm actually going to go across the other side now and do exactly the same thing for Coniston Old Man. I mean, for me, it's been thoroughly entertaining. A bit like some of my more recent videos. I've considered it more of a recce, just taking a look around the place, understanding what's here, understanding the compositions, so that maybe when weather conditions are slightly more favourable, you know, I know that I'll be able to come back here and know straight away that there's a view here and there's a view there and there's a view the other. I mean, that won't stop me from fine-tuning the compositions at the time, but at least I'll have a broad idea as to what's here. I won't have to go through that 10-15 minutes of wandering around and contemplating. Although I would say, as a general technique, even for a location that you know very well, don't always go to those what I would call honeypot points and just create the same images time and time again, because in different weather conditions and in different seasons, every location looks ever so slightly different. So, you know, maybe go to the locations or the spots at that location that you know work, but when you're moving from one to the other, look around you and, you know, consider the possibilities. Don't just you know, look in front of you and head straight to your next spot. So if you've gotten this far, thank you very much indeed for watching. Thank you for bearing with me. If you've liked today's content, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like. It does help the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. This is what my channel is all about, landscape photography and advice and suggestions to help, you know, move us all forward in the spirit of sharing experiences. So if you want to see more of stuff like this, hit the subscribe button. It's free. And if, you know, you decide to change your mind, you can unsubscribe at any time. As well as the subscribe button, please do hit the bell button as well. And in the 3 options that you get, hit all. That way you will get notified as and when I upload new content, which at the moment is every 2 weeks at 6 PM UK. I do publish in my banner the dates that I'm due to publish new content. So, you know, you can set yourself a reminder and, you know, check out my channel after that date and after that time. So until the next one, stay safe, stay well, keep exploring with your camera, and I shall see you soon. From Kelly Hall Tarn, cheerio.